Alright, am I even ready to talk about all the feelings that this video is going to create? I don't know. So, hello everybody, and welcome to Vlogmas slash the 12 Days of Christmas. Today I am going to be doing the Japan tag by V. I'm going to be posting her video down in the description. She's the one that created the tag and created all the questions. I have all the questions down here, and I'm just going to be answering them. So the first question is, have you ever been to Japan? Yes. Where? So what people who only watch me on YouTube may not know is I have actually been to Japan twice. The first time was in 2016 from May to July for a Bible college. The Bible college was 8 weeks. It was in Yamanaka-ko, which is a beautiful, beautiful place. If you want a really pretty countryside of Japan, go to Yamanaka-ko, it's great. So Bible college was 8 weeks, and then Nathan came out and visited me at the end of it, and we went to Tokyo together for 2 weeks. And the second time was obviously the 1-year study abroad from September 2017 to July 2018 Actually, I can talk about this now. So before I didn't want to put out my location for privacy reasons, but I can tell you guys now, I went to Rikyo University. I am wearing, there it is, my university sweater. So I went to Rikyo University in Ikebukuro, Tokyo, and we were living in RUID Asakadai in Saitama. It was about a 20-kilometer train ride to and from Ikebukuro. Our Asakadai station went directly to Tokyo. It was great. Yeah, that's where I was. Question 2 is 3 things you like about Japan. So my number 1 thing that I love about Japan kind of is all in one answer. It's just how convenient everything is, how polite, how clean, how orderly. I miss that so much. Some examples are in a restaurant. They have a little container of napkins and moist towelettes. They give you moist towelettes. Nowhere here gives you moist towelettes. Nowhere here even has napkins. You get 1 napkin. I might need more than 1 napkin, thank you, and I don't want to have to ask, you know? It's convenient to have a little napkin thing. And I just got really passionate about that. In Japan, they have a little button when you want your waiter to come, so that, I don't know, it's just more convenient for everybody. Another thing is when you're taking the escalator, this might just be a Tokyo thing, but when you're taking the escalator in Japan, everyone stands off to the left so that people who want to walk go on the right. Here, everyone just stands in the same line and I can't get through, and it sucks. But I don't really take the escalator a whole lot, but it still bugs me whenever it happens. So that's number 1, convenience. Everyone knows that Japan is clean. Everyone knows that Japan is polite. The other thing that I like about Japan are onsens. Am I gonna talk about this on YouTube? No, just Google it. It's just a really fun cultural experience. The third thing is, I'm thinking off the top of my head. There's so many things I like about Japan, but right now the third thing is I like how in a city like Tokyo you can have all these really big mecha buildings and a lot of industrialization, but then you also have a random little shrine or a random little Buddhist temple, and it's very like traditional aspects and the pop culture aspects always cross over, and that's just really cool for me that they still appreciate the traditional side of their culture and they're very proud of it. Number 3 is 3 things you dislike about Japan. The number 1 thing is obviously the language barrier. I learned in my year abroad that I am not good at languages. I dropped taking Japanese courses, or like the Japanese language courses, in the 2nd semester. So I didn't retain any Japanese. It was just hard for me to communicate. I was thinking when I was in Japan, struggling to talk to the cashier, I was like, oh my gosh, when I get back home, I don't even care if a cashier is gonna be rude to me, at least I can talk to them. The second thing I dislike is, again, another Tokyo-centric thing, but that's where I went to school, so I don't like how many people there are. Because I'm a fast walker, And if I get stuck behind a crowd of slow walkers, I can't just, it's hard to, you know, maneuver your way around. There's just so many people. I'm never going to complain about crowds again because I lived a year in Japan, well, a year in Tokyo, so I'm going to be fine for life. The third thing that I dislike about Japan is how much the society is driven by consumerism. Everything is all like, oh, this anime is advertising for this, so it makes you want to buy it. Here's a limited time offer. Here's this. Arashaimase, please buy our stuff. Here's our sign. It's just all very dirty, like, if that makes any sense. I just don't like it. I took a Japanese culture class in both semesters, and we talked about how commercialized and how consumer driven the society is, and it's really sad. I know I talked about in the things that I liked about Japan is how they have the pop culture and the traditional, but I think especially in Tokyo it's all about getting you to buy things, and it's just awful sometimes, if that makes any sense. You kind of need to live there to understand what I'm talking about. I don't know if that made any sense. It's just something that bugged me personally. Alright, so number 4 is what started your interest in Japan? So basically, when I was in elementary school, I would watch anime, but I did not understand that it was anime. I would just watch like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Mew Mew Power and Pretty Cure and stuff like that, liking the animation style, not understanding that it was anime. And then in grade 7 is when, through a mutual friend, I met Megan, now Nathan, and he had introduced my friend to manga and anime and introduced me to it. So in grade 7, I really got into it and actually understanding what it was. And then actually, surprisingly, in grade 10, what started my interest in Japan and actually going to Japan, which stemmed from my like of Japanese pop culture, was I was watching, this is so bad, but I was watching Watch Us Live and stuff, which was when Anthony from Smosh and Clerly were still together. They had a channel, and they went to Japan, and I saw them go, and I was like, oh my gosh, Japan is awesome. I want to go. Also, like, PewDiePie and Marcia going too, and Marcia's vlogs were great. But yeah, they were the ones that actually showed me Japan in a vlog for the first time, because in grade 10, I was really into vloggers and stuff. And that was the first time I had ever seen someone vlog in Japan. And that got me into J-vloggers, and that got me into wanting to go to Japan. And that's why in 2016 I chose to go to Bible college in Japan, and then the rest is history. Number 5 is where's your fave spot in Japan? I'm going to do like a country and a city version. So basically my favorite spot in Tokyo is called Nakano Broadway. It's basically a giant indoor mall of secondhand anime goods. I spent way too much money there, but I don't know, I just love the vibe of it. And then my favorite place in the country is probably, oh my gosh, I just realized I didn't answer the first question completely. Okay, so during those 2 trips of me being in Yamanakako and me being in Saitama/Tokyo, I also went other places. The first trip, I obviously went to Tokyo, and we also went on a missions trip to Tohoku, so I have driven all the way up from the middle of Japan, all the way up to the northernmost point of Japan, except for not the island, obviously. Tohoku's pretty far up there. So I've been halfway across Japan. It was so cool driving because there's this highway, and on either side of you it's just rice paddy fields as far as the eye can see, and we were driving like that for like a good 10 minutes. So that was really cool. And then during my year in Tokyo, I also went to Osaka and Kyoto. So I have been from Kyoto, Osaka area all the way up to the top of Japan. So back to my favorite spot. Out of those, oh, I talked about my favorite one in Tokyo already, and I really do like Osaka because it's more like Vancouver, because it's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit less hustle and bustle. There are mountains like in Vancouver, which is nice, but I think my favorite other spot is called Fujiyoshida. It's the city that is next to Yamanakako. And it was just so cool. We would drive out there to go shopping. That's where I found the Aeon malls. And I don't know, it's just a really, that's where Fuji-Q is. You can see Mount Fuji from like any point in the town. It's just so cool. I'm gonna move on to the next question. What's your favorite Japanese food? So my favorite Japanese food is called yakisoba. What I did not realize the first time we went to Japan was that it's more of a festival food. So Nathan and I literally we went all over the place trying to find yakisoba, and we finally found a spot in Akihabara. And so if you want yakisoba, don't expect to find it easily, because to Japanese people, it's more of a festival food. Here at Japanese restaurants, they always have yakisoba on the menu, but not in Japan. It's festival food. So number 7, who is your favorite Japanese celebrity? I actually don't really have one, so I'm just going to talk about what J-pop bands I like. My favorite boy group is called Weaver. They're the ones who sing the opening to Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, which is called Diamond. I like a couple other of their songs. And then my favorite girl group is called Perfume, especially the song Flash, which I actually got to see them perform live, because being an international student at Rikyo, they gave us opportunities to go to these like cultural events for free. So I got to go to something called The Songs of Tokyo, which was released New Year's 2018. The point of it was to showcase Japanese music and Japanese pop culture to get people ready for the Olympics, and they had a lot of international people, so I got to be literally in the 4th row, and I'm actually in a video, like I'm on Japanese TV, or I guess I was on, and if I find the clip, I'll insert me here being on Japanese national TV. And oh, the other person who I discovered from that night is called Miyavi. He's so cool. He performed so well. He plays the guitar mostly. His stage presence was so cool. So there are some of my favorite Japanese celebrities. Number 8 is, where would you like to visit next? So I can talk about this now. The next time I want to go to Japan, I want to do like a backpacking, or Charla in Japan and Abroad in Japan right now are doing a cycling tour. I would love to do that, except they are doing it with like a whole crew. They did training. They have people, I think, driving along them in cars. I don't really have the means to do all that, so I'll probably just, you know, train across Japan. But I want to like hit all the, not touristy, but just all like the cool spots in Japan and just do it all in one big swoop. This is like way in the future when I have a lot of money, obviously. There's a lot of places that I didn't get to go to in Japan, either because they were like further than I thought they would be, or more expensive. Like I really wanted to go to the beach, to an actual ocean beach. I really wanted to go to the Fox Village. I wanted to go to the Nara Deer Park. I want to go to that, you know, the Torii Gate in the ocean. I don't know what it's called. I'll insert picture name here. So I would like to hopefully do one trip to hit all the spots. I don't know if that's possible, but yeah. Number 9 is, do you speak Japanese? Yes, I took 1 year of Japanese language classes at my home university before I went to school in Japan, and then I took 1 semester of Japanese language courses there, but they taught it like more, it was more difficult basically for me to learn it in Japan, surprisingly. I know that everyone says, go to Japan, you'll learn the language so easy. Well, that's when I learned that language is not my forte, so I dropped it, and I only know a little bit. 私はちょっと日本語を話します. I speak a little bit of Japanese. ちょっと, very little. And the last question is, if you could cosplay a Japanese fictional character, who would it be? I've always wanted to cosplay one of the Studio Ghibli girls. I really want to do Ariete because like I already technically have her hair. So I would just need to make a dress. I would love to be Sophie too. In the future when I have a boyfriend, I want to be Sophie and Howl and just do a photo shoot or something. I think that would be really cute. So those are all the questions. Thank you for watching this and learning about my experience with Japan. I encourage you to do this tag too. If you like Japan or have been to Japan, I don't know, just... So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.